Welcome to the 10-Minute Mind Shift Podcast. I'm your host, Janet Cagle, certified life coach, weight loss coach, and lover of all things related to upleveling my life and yours. My goal is to help you get one step closer to your goal, whatever it is. My goal is not to keep you wrapped up in self-help all day, just 10 minutes. And who doesn't have 10 minutes, right? Welcome back, friends. This is episode number 91. And I named it Beer, Broccoli, and the Crazy Cucumber because this episode is going to be an off-the-cuff, the last 2 weeks got away from me, and this is what I have for you kind of episode. Yesterday, Steve and I celebrated 20 years of marriage. And when I say celebrate, I don't want to give you the impression that we threw a big party or popped a bottle of bubbly or anything like that. Although I bought a bottle of bubbly, we just didn't get around to it. I thought it would be fun to share with you how we experienced our anniversary and maybe give you a few musings on marriage. And maybe there will be a mind shift for you. Who knows? So 20 years ago, we eloped. At the time, for whatever reason, a wedding felt like an indulgence that wouldn't serve us as much as others, so we eloped. We got married in the basement of the Harrison County Courthouse in Arkansas, and the officiant was on his way to a day of fishing, so he was in full fishing gear, the vest, the waders, the whole thing. It was pouring rain, so the traditional gazebo setting was not possible the day that we got married. Then we went to Western Sizzler for a salad bar, steak, and apple cobbler. That's how fancy the Kegels were back then. And I have to say that although we've attended our fair share of fancy black tie events and experienced some swanky places, neither one of us have ever desired that to be our lifestyle. In the last month, as the days have been leading up to our anniversary, one of the thoughts that I have had is how different we both are today from when we got married. And so often I hear people say, she just isn't who I married, or he just isn't the same person. And they say it as if that's a bad thing and not an inevitable thing. At dinner last night, we were talking about how much we have both changed, who we are now versus who we were then. For example, when we got married, he was not a runner. Neither of us were cyclists. In fact, I hated biking. We didn't golf, and in fact, I had very negative thoughts about golf and golfers. I was very judgy then. I had no idea that I had this burning ember in me tied to horses. He didn't know how to play guitar or piano, and he didn't know about his passion for music. I had zero desire to ever have a dog in the house. I was adamant about that. We now have 3. When I hear people talk about how they grow apart, a lot of times it's tied to the hobbies that they pick up or the passions that ignite them or get ignited by one party that doesn't necessarily light the other one up. When we got married, I was religious about running every single day for at least 3 miles. Steve was not. He did like walking and we walked a lot, but running was not his thing. He didn't make that mean anything about us or him that I ran and he didn't. What he did do, though, was whenever we went on vacation, he would make sure that I had a place to run. He made sure that I had time to run. He didn't make me feel bad for needing that in my life. He didn't share my interest in running, but he was interested in supporting me for sure. Fast forward several years, and Steve decides to run a marathon. Wait. You aren't a runner. He was approaching his 50s and decided he wanted to become a runner in a big way. I had no desire to run a marathon. In fact, running races is not my thing at all. And so I watched him transform from a person who does not run into a legit runner. He did the same thing with biking and golfing and his music and following sports. None of these things were important to him when we met. Now, I know that these things sound benign, like benign examples, but this is exactly how people get the idea that as couples, they are growing apart or that they don't share common interests and passions. And when a partner gets interested in something or they want to try something new, they make that mean that their partner is bored. And then they're afraid that their partner will go overboard. And sometimes they make it mean that they aren't enough, and that's why their partner is so interested in something else. When we got married 20 years ago, We didn't know enough about our own dreams and passions to share them with each other. That is something that has evolved. Steve had no idea he married a dressage-obsessed, bronze medal-chasing equestrian. I didn't know that. He didn't know that he married a life coach. I didn't know that either. When I think about it, what if I had held his toes to the fire of who he was then when I married him and what he liked to do then, and if he did the same to me? I think about all of the growth and the experiences we both would have missed out on. Watching him grow into a legit athlete has been fun. Watching him become a musician is inspiring. Now, I know sometimes he wishes that my passion didn't include a 1,300-pound animal, but I know how much he gets a kick out of all of the things that I accomplish with my horse dreams. And I mean, he moved me to Ocala, Florida. We live 18 minutes from the Florida Horse Park and the World Equestrian Center. If that doesn't say support, I don't know what does. For our 20th year of marriage, after work, we went out for dinner. We did a Wordle and listened to a guy playing his guitar. We brought home a piece of key lime pie and watched an episode of The Dropout. While we were at dinner, I spotted an older couple, and it's funny that I say older, as if we aren't older ourselves. We're in our 60s, 1662, so this couple must have been in their 80s, maybe. I glanced at them a lot, and each time I did, I thought, that's going to be us in 20 more years. Dinner at the Crazy Cucumber, drinking a beer, and eating broccoli. And that made me smile. I'm not sure if any of this that I just shared with you gave you a mind shift, but this is what I have for you this week. And now, go have the best day ever. That's a wrap. I hope that you were able to experience a mind shift of your own today. Listen, if you loved this podcast, you should totally check out my Life by Design 6-week bootcamp. It's a work at your own pace workshop and something that you can do over and over and over again to uplevel your results. If a one-on-one coaching program is more your jam, I am all in. Just shoot me an email and get ready for a transformation at the speed of life.